All right, for this, we're gonna use white to start with, and we're gonna use pressure control. So the lighter I press, the thinner it is, and the harder I press, the thicker it is, which is up here. All right, now lightning is usually pretty straight, but what's cool about arcs of lightning is they do have a bit of a bend to it. They won't like do this because, believe it or not, that's not an efficient use of energy. So that's why you rarely see arcs of lightning just like making hard curves like that. They'll bend, but they'll never like the most efficient point between these 2 points is just like that. So that's why it's usually more straight-ish with a bit of curve to it from time to time. So that's just something to keep in mind while we're doing this. So let's have lightning maybe come down and strike this dude's hand. Like he's catching lightning. Maybe in a little energy ball. That'd be cool. Thoughts? Let's do it. Let's make a little spot where we want the ball. And then big motions. Maybe a little thinner one over there. It's almost like big ribbons. Jerky hand motions. We're just making those jerky hand motions. And again, this is just with white. Just starting off with white. And then we shrink our brush down a bit. And what you'll tend to see is, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like little arcs of tiny lightning next to the bigger arcs. So like these, like sub arcs of light, of electricity. And these sort of give the lightning a bit of extra flavor. You know what I mean? A little variation. And we can even have some of it like touching the fingers a bit. Even touching a bit of that. Look at us go, we're making lightning. The power of nature. Then, if you want to, and this is easy money, okay? We erase with the hard round pressure opacity brush, just like we're brushing with the hard round pressure opacity brush, by the way. And we straighten out these bits here. We take care of the edges, and we lightly erase along the sides. What we're trying to do is give the lightning some size and width variation while it's moving, as well as make the lines of the lightning a little more interesting to look at. So right now, for example, this is pretty boring because it's just a simple like rectangle of light. This is just slightly more interesting, or even just that slight erase, little point to it. The main thing we're really trying to do is just change up the size of the lightning that you see. So we brush and we erase, we put some on, we take some off, and we can do it gently because this is the hard round pressure opacity brush, both the eraser and the brush. So if we do it gently, you'll notice we'll slowly start cutting in to this stuff as we move, making sort of this layer effect, almost like we're slowly peeling an onion, which makes the middle of the lightning arc much more prominent. And so we go back and forth a bit, getting rid of boring parts, making more interesting parts, maybe adding some connections like this, how like one arc will connect to the other and sort of like jump. That stuff is always pretty interesting, especially with lightning. Now let's focus on the ball a little bit. Now this ball is not very natural, okay? Lightning doesn't do this all that often. So we get to sort of play around with this and just do whatever looks good. We can honestly just use a smudge tool and make it a little fuzzy even, just for a smidge, just a bit, just to give it some flavor. And we can erase the smudges, and then we can brush on a little harder on the sides, some of those little micro arcs, the little tiny ones. Just make it like circle. All right, now I'm gonna use my eyedropper tool for color picking, and I'm gonna start blending a bit, just a bit, still on the hard round brush, but I don't want my brush strokes to be uniform. I don't want all the brush strokes to look the same. So we can just vary those by brushing off the edges of each brush stroke. When I say we don't want things to be boring, that is just a plain, ordinary, boring line. We want to add variation to it. Now we got to clean these up a little bit. Be sure to shrink your eraser as you go along. Make sure it's good. All right, now we've got the basic shapes. I like this. I think it's cool. Now we're gonna do some soft lighting because lightning is it's energy. It's just, you know, electricity. And as we know, most of our light sources are electrical. So we're going to get a soft brush this time, and we can make a new layer to mess with this one so that we, if, you know, whatever we do doesn't mess with our current lightning layer. And with white or anything, color-wise, it's all fine. Just make sure it's a lighter color. We're just going to gently, we're gonna drop the opacity and the flow to be extra gentle. And we don't even have to have pressure on. We can just keep it like this. And we're just gonna make sure our brush stays about, you know, an appropriate size. So for example, if a light source, if like a little arc is little itty bitty, we make our light sources, these little soft brushes, make them little itty bitty. Slightly, like 3 times the size of the actual arc itself. So if you press down really hard, it's about this thick next to the actual thing, but we're gonna press down very softly. We're very gentle with our light. And you want your light source to mostly be around the points where the lightning connects with other lightning. It's like right here in these big corners or these joints, you could say. All right, now we've gotten the main light source down. Has everybody followed along so far? Are we all here? Everybody raise your hand if you're not here. Okay, I want to see those hands. Or anybody who's not here, who's not along with us? Are we all here? Are we all good? Have we all drawn really cool little light sources from the ether into a little ball over our character's hands? Have we all done that? Are we all on the same page? Great, fantastic. So we've got our glow, we've got our main body of our lightning. So now let's add the good juicy bits, the color. We like color. Color's cool. We're not afraid of colors. Now, you pick a color that you like. So lightning could be a myriad of other colors. You can make cool magical lightning that's red, that's yellow, blue. Blue's a classic. Blue is a classic lightning color. Everyone loves blue. So we're gonna get a soft brush once again, soft round pressure opacity. We got our blue selected. It's just a nice lighter blue, like a sky blue. And we have a couple options here, depending on what's behind this lightning. Overlay is a classic, Overlay will do us just fine. And all we have to do, best thing when it comes down to lighting, is usually either, you know, pressure opacity works fine, or, you know, our pressure control will work fine. We don't need it, but it is good to have. Our opacity is still set to 51, our flow is still set to 54. It's still very light, very gentle. So if we just ramp up the size of our brush here, and we lower the size of our brush to hit the smaller arcs, we're not tracing the entire thing. You could if you want to, but it's also fine to have just the light sources be bluish, but it's purely up to you. I like some parts to be blue, some parts are colorful, and some parts to just stay white, because I like the variation. But because there's a lot of lightning up here, I'm gonna make that brush huge and just slam the blue down, just slam it down, just bring it down like heaven above. So if we turn this to normal, it looks like that. So it works like this, honestly. You could if you wanted to. But there's too much blue on the side. So if we, oh my God, wrong eraser. That's actually softer than eraser. We could just gently, you know, bring the blue in. So it would look like this, right? We're just confining the color a little bit of blue, make it nice and soft. We like our soft light and soft color. So we go back to overlay. See how the color is sort of being confined to our light source. So now the light source kind of claims ownership of the color, like, oh, it's blue because of the lightning. I see. I understand. Fantastic. Boom. Look at that. God damn, look at that. That's cool. That's nice. All right, fantastic. You're all masters of lightning. Congratulations. Give yourselves a pat on the back. You did it. I just got here, but I feel empowered. That's right, Blonde. That's right. And that is our lightning magic tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, a dislike if you dislike it. Subscribe to see more. Thank you so much to my amazing patrons and Twitch subs who make all these tutorials possible. And if you would like to join these wonderful people live on Thursdays, I do these tutorials over on my Twitch. So feel free to come on by, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.